Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey, today we're going to talk about something that I've been meaning to do for quite some time. And what we're going to talk about is this little two-shot Derringer. Now this isn't going to be our normal take it apart and clean it video, because there's just not much to do on this. It's two barrels, you swab them out, you're pretty much done. What this one is going to be about is a safety briefing on these little double barrel Derringers, okay? Now this is the old style of Derringer, and it has a couple of things that are seldom talked about but really seriously need to be talked about. So if you are going to, if you're considering buying one and carrying it as a emergency holdout piece, that's fine, but be aware that there are certain dangers to this gun, and I'm going to show you what they are in just a minute. Okay, so this is our little two-shot Derringer. It's okay as a defense piece. Now if you'll look, this is a 38 special. Got some pretty big holes in the front of it. It's a little bit of a handful to take on, to hold on to when you fire it, but it actually isn't as bad as you think it's going to be. So what we're going to talk about today are the aspects of this that can be on the dangerous side. All right. The first and most dangerous part of this gun, which can actually get you to shoot your own hand, all right, is that on the hammer, okay? Now I'm going to put it all the way forward to start with to show you what I'm talking about, all right? When the hammer is all the way forward in the down position, okay, what happens with this gun is that at least one of the two firing pins, all right, which I'm going to point out to you right now, this is for the top barrel and this down here is for the bottom barrel, okay? At least one of these two firing pins is going to be protruding, all right? It is going to stick out because that hammer is holding it forward. So if you put 2 rounds in this thing and you slap it shut, there's a very good chance it could go off. All right, so that is a danger to this gun. It can actually be dangerous. Now, there is a way to combat that problem, and that is a position on the hammer called the half-cock position. Half-cock is when you pull the hammer back 1 click, all right? You hear it click? All right. Now if you notice, there is a space right here between the firing pin and the hammer. So when we look inside, we're going to see that neither one of the two firing pins are protruding. They're not sticking out, so you don't have a problem with it. Now with a Derringer, when you cock the hammer all the way back, all right, I'm going to show you this little piece in here. This little piece right here, it toggles up and down between the bottom barrel and the top barrel. So every time you cock it, it swaps barrels and shoots the other barrel. Now what I was showing you about the firing pin, the top one is actually the more dangerous of the two, but you cannot take either one of them for granted. The reason why it's more dangerous is when you close this, you have the leverage of that short radius turn as that barrel comes closed. And it's not that hard to set one off, okay? If you do it, you could end up shooting yourself in the hand if you're holding the gun wrong. Remember, stay away from the muzzle. Do not put your hand in front of the muzzle of the gun because it is dangerous, okay? So when you close it, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to keep the barrels facing downrange and close the action, all right? That's how you close this gun, all right? You keep those barrels facing downrange. What happens if you just forgot to put that hammer in the half-cock position, okay? That first click back. What happens if you forgot that and you're like this and you close the barrel? Well, now you shot a hole in the ceiling, or you shot your best buddy right next to you, okay? So these are things that you're going to have to pay attention to on this gun. here is the second dangerous feature about this gun. The latch, right here. That's what keeps the barrel closed. Now if you look, in here, it's just a little rotating piece of metal that goes in and blocks the barrel from opening, all right? So when it's down, there's clearance for the barrel to get past. When it's up, there isn't, all right? So when we close this gun, okay, this latch needs to go all the way to the rear and click into place. It has to go all the way up and latch. Right here is a little ball, okay? Now this is what's known as a spring detent ball, all right? And when that engages that hammer, or I mean that latch, it locks that latch into place and locks the barrel so it's not going to come open, all right? And that is very, very important. Again, this is that detent ball, and this is your latch, and you're going to want it to go all the way until you feel it kind of lock into place. This is why this is so important. This gun can be fully cocked even with the barrels open. What does that mean? If we don't have it latched and we fire it, boom, it's going to blow open on us and potentially hurt us or maybe even kill us. So you want to be very careful with these Derringers. It's not a bad gun. The problem with it is that it was designed back in the late 1800s, okay? So it's a very old design. And they kind of assumed that everybody understood all of the features regarding gun safety back then, and so they didn't really worry too much about safety devices. Today, triggers are locked out. There's all kinds of safety mechanisms designed into guns, all right? I have another Derringer that I'm going to bring out and show you. It's called a Bond Industries. Now this one, that Bond, doesn't have the same hammer fall as this one. If you're not holding the trigger all the way back on that Bond pistol, the hammer can't go all the way down, which is not a bad safety feature. But I want to remind you, once again, the only real safety you have with any gun is 1, always keep the gun pointed in a safe direction. 2, always keep your finger off that trigger until you're ready to shoot the gun. And 3, always keep the gun unloaded until you're ready to use it. All right, so that's it for our safety brief on this little 2-shot Derringer. Now I'm going to show you that Bond pistol and show you that it's a larger Derringer, but it's probably a lot safer to carry than this one, and I will show you why in just a moment. Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey listen, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? That's really important to us. And make sure you like us, and by all means, come to visit us at AskBill1911.com. Okay everybody, we're back. Now this is our Bond 2-shot Derringer. As you can see, it's actually a little bit bigger, but it's a lot wider and a lot heavier duty. This thing is built like a bulldozer, all right? Now this is one of the other key features that's very important on this gun. It has a trigger guard, okay? Now that trigger guard is a good thing. You want that on there. This one does not have a trigger guard, so it's theoretically possible to squeeze the trigger when it's in your pocket by accident. Very unlikely with one of these, and this is the reason why. This trigger pull is like 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I mean, it is very hard to pull that trigger. It's so hard to pull that trigger that if you're going to shoot this gun, you're going to want to lay your index finger along the side of the barrel, and you're going to use your middle finger, because it's much stronger, to pull the trigger on this old style 2-shot Derringer. This one, the trigger is nowhere near as bad, all right? So it just doesn't have anywhere near the trigger pull, okay, that one's got. So The first thing I wanted to show you was the difference in the latch. This latch automatically snaps shut when you close the barrel. All right, so let me show you that one more time. All right, you pull it down to open the barrel. As you push it into place, that latch slowly moves down, and then when the barrel locks in, it pops back up. So this thing is positively locked every time you close the barrel. All right, so with this one, you have to make sure that latch is closed, otherwise the barrel can pop open on you. The trigger guard is the next safety feature. All right, the third safety feature is that this one, when you pull the trigger and hold the trigger all the way back, the hammer can go forward. All right. When the trigger is not held back, okay, the hammer will not go all the way forward. So it is already locked into that half cock position so that you can't accidentally discharge the gun by banging the hammer or anything like that. So this has some safety features that the older two-shot Derringer does not. The other thing about this guy here is it's 357 Magnum, so it's got a good bit more punch. Now, when you touch this thing off with those 357s in it, you know you got a handful. The 38 isn't quite as bad as you expect it to be, but this 38 is maybe half or less the weight of this 357 by Bond. Okay. Other than that, it pretty much operates the same way. You swing the barrels open, you put the bullets in, and this is your ejector. This ejects your cartridges. Now it has a spring on it that automatically pushes them out a little bit as soon as you open the barrel. This one does not. This little old style Derringer is all just push. Okay, it's all just on a slide. So it's extremely simple, but it does not have the safety features that personally I want on a carry piece. All right, so for me, I don't carry this. On occasion, I show it, and on occasion, I'll take it out and shoot it because it's a novelty thing. A lot of people have never even seen one. Okay, but I don't really shoot this one much. It's actually very rare that I'll shoot this old beast. Now this one, on the other hand, you can actually take this to the gun range and you put 38s in it and you can shoot this all day and it's not going to wear you to a frazzle. Okay, this one, you shoot 2 or 3 shots with that trigger as stiff as it is, and your finger's tired. I mean, it's a problem. So if you're looking for a two-shot Derringer, check out Bond Industries. All right, they're in Granbury, Texas, and they make a really, really fine gun. They also have some other guns in their repertoire that you might enjoy. So give them a look. We'll see you next time. I'm Bill 1911. Hey everybody, Bill 1911 here. Hey listen, if you're watching this video, if you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? That's really important to us. And make sure you like us, and by all means, come to visit us at AskBill1911.com.